Well, let me ask you, are there any studies being done right now to increase the efficiency of how much energy solar panels could collect to, hopefully when this does happen, to have as much energy as possible?
Yes, as part of the green movement, which is taking hold around the world, considerable amount of work is being done to maximize and optimize the energy efficiency of solar panels. We believe that there's a fair, close correlation between solar panels prepared here on Earth and the type of performance that we would see sent into space. Any development on terrestrial solar power will also benefit our technical ability to make high-efficiency solar panels in outer space as well. We're really encouraged by what we see. Now, every now and then you'll pick up the paper and you'll read somebody is receiving 60 to 70% efficiency on some solar panel. But those tend to decline down to between 15 and 30% efficiency in a relatively short amount of time. But that 15 to 30% efficiency is light years ahead of where we were just a few decades ago. And so there's good cause for hope. As the efficiencies improve, the business case for space-based solar power becomes much easier. As we develop commercial launch systems, which demonstrate that getting out from underneath government regulation and government programming methods, that you yield a tremendous cost savings, not only as the corporation, but also as the customer. This gives us great hope. There's also high strength, very lightweight materials, a lot of carbon-based materials that are coming out now that give us hope that we'll be able to lighten and reduce the size and scale of these overall gossamer structures that'll have to be put into outer space to make this concept viable.
There are a few opinions out there that would say that the Army is a little bit more serious about their space-based solar power studies than the Air Force. How would you respond to that?
Our partners in the United States Army do have a much more demanding need for space-based solar power than the Air Force does. However, the Air Force is the service that does space. But we sit there and we look at our brothers and sisters in the Army with great respect for the difficulty of their mission, and they perform it brilliantly. I am a huge fan of my Army. They find themselves on the ground. They find themselves in need of power wherever they go. Whether they're doing a humanitarian relief mission, a disaster relief mission, whether they're doing nation building or engaged in active combat, where the Army is, they need energy. One of the facts that we turned over in 2007 was that 70% of our casualties and 70% of our logistics were dedicated to the movement of petroleum in the battle space. And the fully burdened cost at one point during the war, occurring between 2005 and 2006, we estimated the fully burdened cost of petroleum was about $300 per gallon delivered to the user. And when you add on to that the lives at risk and the lives taken in getting that petroleum to the consumer, space-based solar power looks like a wonderful option. The Army at Huntsville, their Space and Missile Command, has worked with us at the Eisenhower Center at the Air Force Academy. They have proposed different ground stations to receive space-based solar power, and we are hoping seriously to put up a satellite to test this concept initially to demonstrate its safeness and its cleanness, and then what amount of energy can be realistically provided to an Army unit. The Army's a fascinating case. They are our people. They live on the ground. And we want to make sure that they have what they need to accomplish their mission. And I'm really pleased with the relationship that we have now, 30 years after the Goldwater-Nichols Act, which made us a joint fighting force. You will never hear me say a discouraging word about my Army. And you will hear me also say that I will do everything in my power to give them safe, clean energy.
Well, what is the most important thing that people need to know about the Air Force and Army's proposals and plans for space-based solar power?
We're taking baby steps at this point in time. What we really need is universities to carry the initial load of studies. There's so many different little technical questions along the pathway to accomplishing space-based solar power. Many of them have to do with cost reduction or improving efficiencies. You mentioned earlier improving the efficiency of solar panels, solar arrays. That's all critical. What we need now is to monitor the progress that's being made at universities. Students show tremendous excitement at the concept of space-based solar power, and they are chomping at the bit to try to improve that 42-to-1 ratio so that the business case will close. People that come to the space education want to be employed in the space industry later. And this is an opportunity for them to actually cut their teeth solving the problems that may employ them while solving a lot of our earthly energy problems at the same time. If you want a real space program, you want an economically driven space program, one that delivers a profit, because our ability to feed ourselves is based on our ability to generate a profit. And this is one of the things that space-based solar power allows us to do.
Well, is there anything else that you would like to share or add with us?
It's very exciting being here at the Space Frontier Foundation's annual NewSpace conference. This is a fabulous opportunity for me to bump into old friends, people that I've worked projects with over the years. It completely reinvigorates me and gets me excited again in space, and I get to do this every year. It's wonderful. And I thank you for your time.